So here we have a computer. This has been sent to me by one of my friends and I've no idea what's wrong with it. Join me in a moment where I'm going to see if I can fix this. Hello, welcome back to Nelly's Nerd Cave, and today I'm looking at fixing this thing. I'm not quite sure what it is. This has been delivered to me from a friend who says it doesn't work. Very useful information if you ask me. So today what we're going to look at is what's wrong with this thing. First of all, I'm not sure what's in it. I can see that it's got some kind of SSD in there. But first of all, like all troubleshooting steps, let's see what happens when we plug it in and switch it on. So I've been told that it doesn't power on or anything, and it's really useful because this thing has mini HDMI. I'm going to need a cable. One moment.
A few moments later.
So with a mini HDMI now got, yay me for having loads of cables, let's see if we can power this thing on and see what's what. Just looking at the power supply, it's just a standard grey one, so doesn't hold any hopes up for me here. So well, all the fans seem to be working. It's very dusty. Do we get anything on the screen? Oh, BIOS. Okay. It says loading operating system, but is it going to load anything? Oh, Windows. Windows 10. I know you probably can't see that. Oops, but if I move my screen like this, you should be able to see it's loading Windows 10. Now, is it going to load, or is it going to do something else? Now, this is promising because they said it didn't switch on. Inaccessible boot device. Okay, so this could be a number of reasons. Let's take a look at some of these things. So let's switch this off. This power supply is so good, it doesn't even have a power button on the back. So let's have a look, shall we? Let's take the side panel off. Good tip here is always keep your thumb on the top so that it doesn't just fall off. Swap that around. That is definitely going to need a clean. That is just caked in dust. In fact, it even has a peel, so that's even better. Less cleaning. Put that down there so it don't get broken. There is a ton of dust in here. So what we can see, first of all, getting around the spider webs, which is really useful. We should be able to see that we have two SATA connectors. Now I'm going to take the back off and see if there's another drive in here. Because if there is, it could be that it's trying to pull the operating system from something else. Ooh, that's a nice big dead spider there. That's lovely. Let's have a look. Have we got another drive? Yes, we do. Okay, so the red cable goes to the secondary drive and the blue cable goes to the SSD. Let's try this again, but this time without the red cable plugged in. Let's see if that makes a difference. Again, mini HDMI. I will give this a clean afterwards because it's disgusting. And let's see, is this going to work better? I can see that the power supply says that it's a 550 watt power supply. And again, we're loading back into Windows. Is it going to do anything this time? Going to kick us back out? No. So with this then, what this is telling me is that there is a conflicting operating system on another drive. And the other drive is a mechanical drive because that loaded up really fast in comparison to what everything else is. So let's see if I can get logged in. And then what we'll do after that is, if everything is functioning properly, I will strip everything out. We will give it a good cleaning and put it back together and see the final results. But first of all, let's check for stability on this actual machine. Yay, I need a pin. That one doesn't need a pin. A very safe machine, as we can see. It doesn't need a pin. So one username does, and the second username doesn't have a pin number. I shall ask the person to actually rectify this later on. But let's first of all see if it boots into Windows. Let me put it on the network as well. But there are dead things in this and I don't like it, so that's going to all need a clean. Could do with a little tidying up with as far as cable management is concerned, and it's not allowing me to sign in, which is always useful. Okay, so bear with me while I find the pin.
1 hour later.
Alright, so I got the pin from the person who sent me this computer, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make sure that the BIOS, as we can see here, ish, is kind of tweaked in the correct way so that it picks up the SSD every single time. So let's have a quick look. So it says there that we've got a SATA drive, but nothing else. Okay. So why have we got a master and a slave when it's supposed to be... Alright, let's try. That. Let's see if it loads up, because it doesn't look like it's picking up the other drive. Very weird. But let's see what it does next. So it's loading up. Now if it does a blue screen of death again, that means that it is definitely picking that drive up, but we'll have a look. So you probably can't hear this, but the mechanical drive is actually churning away in the background. And as you saw, the BIOS was an old BIOS. Let's see if it loads. It's going pretty slow. Sounds like there's a fan in here that's making a funny noise. Well, it's updating. And I'll join you back in a moment when it's updated, because we all know how long this can take.
Eventually.
Alright, so we're back up and running. It's fully updated. let's see what this device is. So, where's the mouse gone? Wow. There we go. Says nothing is running. That's because I know there's nothing running. Let's go into performance. So we've got an i5 2400. We do have 8 gigs of RAM, but it looks like it's in 2 4 gig sticks. A standard Intel stock cooler. It's also got, what's the graphics on this? So this is a GTX 650. So it's an old graphics card. It's probably struggling a little bit because of all the wonderful modern things that we have, but it's there. We do have 2 drives by the looks of it as well. We do have a C drive, and we also, which is the NVMe, it's an SSD, and we have a D drive, which is actually a mechanical drive, and that looks like it's accessing a hell of a lot, and that's a Samsung 1 terabyte. Wow, it's literally nearly 100% active all the time. Right, so let's do a different screen resolution so that people can see things. That's much better, Neil, well done. So I don't know if you can see that very well. That is actually that's the drive itself, proper chugging over. Wow. Let's see what's on this drive, because I think that might not be working very well. So we have a D drive, a C drive, okay. We have a reserve drive, and then we have this local E, which is not accessible. Let's have a look at disk management then. Okay, so that's E. It's in raw data mode. Strange. Right, I'm going to have to contact the person who gave me this just to see exactly what's going on and to see what is supposed to be on this other drive, because the operating system seems to be working fine. And I think there's something wrong with the other drive, the E drive, that is preventing this from functioning properly. Plus, the accessing is just, it's almost 100%, almost all of, well, 50% of the time. Right, so I need to do some more investigation work on this. As far as the computer is concerned, we do have internet, which is okay. Let me get a crystal disk mark, and then we can look at doing a benchmark. See what this drive actually is and what it can do, which is probably not a lot. Yeah, go away. There we go. Quick download. Crystal disk mark. That's the one I'm after, thank you. Send me the zip. No, I do not want Norton. No, I do not want backups. I just want to download the file. And everywhere I go, there's a countdown timer. Woo! So I'll be back in one moment when I've tested the drives. Alright, after crystal disk mark has finished, we can now see that we have some quite normal reads and write speeds for a standard SSD drive. It's a 2.5 inch SSD, it's got 250 gig of space, and it's doing 387 megabytes per second reads and 186 writes. So it's about normal for this type of drive. I'm not going to test the other one because it's not even there, so there's no point in even testing that. What I might do though is I might run a benchmark on this one just to see how things are faring. But it's an old machine, it's an i5 2400. This could potentially be upgraded to an i7 3770, for example, if needed. You could update the RAM, get rid of the two 4 gig sticks and plop in two 8 gig sticks to give you 16 gigs. That way then what you could do is this could then be upgraded a little bit further to be able to do a little bit more gaming when it comes to other things. They do have a few different games on here like Roblox. The GTX 650 that's in here is perfectly adequate for Roblox, but you could get better performance if they upgraded the graphics card on this. Now I'm going to switch this off and I'm going to clean this horrible thing while I wait for the report back as to what the other drive is used for. They haven't replied just yet, but hopefully they will come back shortly and we will find out exactly what that second drive is used for, because to be fair, that second drive looks to me like it's struggling a little bit. You know, you got what, 90 odd percent? Yeah, about nearly 90% usage. Then it drops back down to about 10, then back up to 90, then 10, then 90, then 10. I think there's something quite wrong with this drive, and what I want to do first is I want to see if there's anything that they deem as special on this drive, because like we've shown, you can't see anything on here anyway when you go into the PC. It just shows this, it's a local disk, it says it's not accessible, it says there's nothing there. What I may do is I may take the drive out and put it on another machine just to see if it can do anything or see anything. But again, when we look in the disk management side of things, it says it's in its raw state. It shouldn't really be raw, so that says to me it's kind of gone somewhere else. You know, it should be in an NTFS at least so that you can see what's on the drive. But I do have virtual machines I can use Linux on to be able to see that and potentially see what state it's in. But to me, that drive looks like it's beginning to fail, at which point that would need replacing. And I do have a drive I could replace that with, and if that's the case and they say then it can be replaced, I will replace that and I'll video that shortly. But now, let's go to the cleanup. Alright, so after a little bit of a clean, it looks a little bit better in there. I've been told that the drive contains nothing of value. So, with that, let's take it out. That way it doesn't disrupt anything. It's a nice easy one to do as well. Just has a sled in here. It says... No, it doesn't. It's actually screwed in. Oh, that's useful. So with that then, the power supply needs to come out. Because to get a screwdriver in there, to get that hard drive out, I need to take this out to make sure I have enough space. No upgrades required on this one. It was a relatively easy fix, and I think it was all down to something on that other hard drive that's not functioning properly, just not working and interfering with Windows. Get rid of that and unplugged it, worked fine, and it was perfectly okay. So let's have a look. What a weird little case that you have to screw it in from down in the computer basement. Very strange. And then one more screw on this side. There we go. Will it come out, I wonder? Better not be screws in the other side. It looks like there might be. No, there's actually 3 screws holding this drive in on one side, and I've missed one. So where's the other? Ah, there we go. How strange that they've fastened it in with all 3 screws, when 2 would be sufficient. And why can I not get that out? It's very difficult doing this just by feel. There we go. Oop. There we are. So this is a 1 terabyte drive from Samsung. What year is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's on here somewhere. So this drive was made and manufactured in 2009. I don't think it's done bad, really, do you? For like 17 years, and I think it's probably due to be binned. With reads like it was doing, with it being up and down and up and down, I don't think this drive has much life left. I am going to have a look and see if it can be salvaged, but I don't think it can be. I think it's too far gone, it's too old, and it needs to be retired to the great big tip in the sky where electronics go to die. For those people who are red dwarfies, then that is silicon heaven. For everybody else, whatever you want to call it. And with that, this machine, once I've got these next 2 screws in, will do a final boot up. I shall see if it still functions, which it should do. I'll take that red thing out. I'm not going to tidy up all their cables because it's not my machine. They haven't asked for anything special, they just asked for me to make it work. So the red SATA cable can come out. Let's have a quick plug back in just to check my sanity to see if it actually works or if it's just me that's gone nuts. And we will have our final test. Ooh. There we go. No, don't take my fingers. I need those. Thank you. Good. Loading operating system. As we can see, we're loading up. Hopefully no blue screen this time. Put my screwdriver back there. Yes. And the noise that I thought was a fan that was dodgy is not. Now I've removed this drive, that noise is now gone. So we've got a little bit of a cleaner machine. Oops. So we now have a bit more of a cleaner machine. It's going to be even cleaner in a minute because this peel, ooh, we love a good peel, don't we? Let's do it nicely on camera. One big piece. Oh yes, one big piece. That was really nice. Let's get this back on here. It says not being able to find where it goes. Again, remembering to leave your finger on the top so that it doesn't fall off, because this is tempered glass. Drop this and I won't be able to get a replacement because I'll just have to replace the whole case, and I don't have one I can replace it with, so I need to be extra careful. This could be a really nice looking computer if you got a new power supply here, rather than it being a grey one which you can see down here. You could get a nice black one that would be perfect. Like I say, upgrade the CPU to a 3770 and the graphics card something a bit better, and you could play a few more modern games on it. And that is functioning, and we can see that it's functioning in the background here on this monitor. I'm going to just run a few updates while I've got this machine, just to make sure everything is up to date and ready to go while there's fast internet. And with that, this machine is now functioning. I hope you took something away from this. Don't forget to like my channel, subscribe, on the bell to get all the notifications for all the videos that I do. And until next time, I'll see you later.